If we're assuming we're from a normal population, we can use a z-score to calculate confidence intervals. So a confidence interval is found by taking either the sample of the population mean, then add or subtract the z-score times the standard deviation over the square root of n. So they gave us the mean. You can just plug that in right there. I'll show you what to do with the plus or minus symbol. Z corresponds to 90% in the center. So what that means is when you calculate z-scores for all your data, if it's normally distributed, you should make this bell-shaped curve. We're looking for the z-score that would put 90% of your data in the center. Okay. And so to find that, we have to recognize that that means it must be 5% in this tail and 5% in this tail, right? So what most tables tell you is the percentage area all the way to the left, not the center, but everything to the left of whatever z-score you look up. So when you use the next calculator I'm going to show you, I'm going to look up 0.95 for my z-score instead of 0.90, and that's why, because of the tail. So the website I'm using is, I'll show you up here. I'll copy and paste it, make it big. I use this in the other videos, I'm just trying to stick with it, but there's plenty of websites that do this. I found it through a Google search. I typed in percentile to z-score calculator, I think. And so this is the z-score I'm going to plug into my formula. Most textbooks just say 1.645. Okay. So I'll use the rounded 1.6. Oh, sorry, I'm writing it over here. 1.645. And the standard deviation is 4, sample size is 13, so there. Now we have everything plugged in. So what I'll do next is I'll simplify the right side, called the margin of error, and I'm going to do the square root of 13 first. You'll see why, because now I can copy the decimal form of the square root of 13, and then I can do the numerator divide by that decimal form all in one step. And so that's what that fraction is. We call that the standard error. And I multiply that to the 1.645. So the margin of error, meaning the whole right side of the formula, looks like this. And then we don't need that many decimals. Let's just cut it off here. So the plus or minus symbol means you're going to get two numbers because it's an interval. The lower end of the numbers is found by taking your mean and subtracting the margin of error. So it becomes this. That's the lower end, and then the upper end that you'd want to enter for an answer would be if you took 36 and added 1.82496. So that's the upper end. Okay. So those are the two numbers, round to 4 decimals. Oops, I round that to 3. Watch out. Make sure when you do yours, you round to 4 decimals. So that's a 90% confidence interval. So you're going to do the same thing for 95%. The z-score you want to look up, though, is 0.975. Because if you have 95% in the center, that means you've got 2.5% in the left and 2.5% in the right. So with what I discussed earlier, that means you want to look up 0.975 in that table. You can use this table. And then 99%, you want to look up 0.995. Okay, but then it's the same process.